Hey guys, Make It All Maniac here with my random facts video. Random facts about moi. Fact number one, this is what I look like. Ta-da! That was a hard one. Fact number two, I live with a rare medical condition known as cyclic vomiting syndrome. Basically, it affects 2% of the population, and you have uncontrollable sessions or episodes, cycles where you just can't stop throwing up. I go into an exorcist fit. Fact number three, I talk a lot. I talk real fast. I actually was in therapy when I was like a small kid, like first grade, to learn how to talk slower. I had the nicknames of Jabberjaw and Motormouth. True story on the Motormouth. I was like 5, 6 years old, maybe a little older, I can't remember. And every summer we had gone to Florida to stay with my grandmother. And one time we were shopping in a store and I had gotten lost from her. And I couldn't find where she was, so I had ran up to the front of the store and told them I was lost and I couldn't find my grandma. They got on that little loudspeaker thing. I said, "We have a lost little girl here," described what I was wearing. I said, "Honey, what's your name?" And I looked up and told the man, "Motormouth." And it went right over the loudspeaker of the whole store. You could hear the whole store just uproar and laughter. Fact number four, I like to memorize and quote movies. TV shows get in on that, certain song lyrics, but I use movie quotes often to express myself. I'm got a photographic and audiographic memory, so I got a lot of movies stored in my noggin. Fact number five, I am a song lyric junkie. I can often hear a song one time and sing every word to it. Just don't ask me who sung it or what the name of the song is. As far as band name or song title, the girl's clueless. Totally clueless. Unless, it's like Tom Petty or, Rob Zombie. I know a lot of them. My favorites, I know if it's by them. Fact number six. When I was a kid, I was extremely flexible. I could fold up into a pretzel. My friends would push me around. I can still fold up into a pretzel. I just don't have friends push me around like a ball anymore. Number seven, I can sit like someone who's meditating with my legs crossed and kind of like up on top of my legs, almost like on my hips. And then I push myself forward and I can walk on my knees. I have a shoe fetish. Fact number eight, I have a complete fetish over shoes. I like shoes. Shoes. 9 times out of 10, I'm barefoot. I have these darling cute cha-cha kicks that generally I'm carrying in my hand or sling them around my purse or something. Fact number 9, I have a fancy dress obsession. Evening gowns, prettier dresses. I'm hooked. I've got a million of them. Nowhere to wear them, but I figure one day I'll kind of have like that overboard moment where I'm in my evening gown and the little confetti falls from the ceiling and whatnot on New Year's and gets stuck on my eyelash. I call it my prom withdrawal syndrome. I never went to prom. Ladies, if you have daughters, make sure they go. They could have devastating effects upon their life if they don't. Have a closet full of gowns that they just don't wear. They're beautiful. I love to put them on and roam around my house in them, every now and then, but I don't have anywhere to wear them. Number 10, I love cooking. I especially like playing like Chopped in my own kitchen and coming up with new recipes. And even if it's an old recipe or, a classic that everyone knows, I generally don't eat very much of it or any of it at all, especially if it's like I don't eat cake. I'm sorry. I don't like cake. I don't eat birthday cake. Well, I did once. A few years ago my son got me an ice cream cake that was so divine. Fact number 11. I play video games with my son, and he really likes racing games. And I am horrible unless you put me in an old car. Stick me in like a 60s or 70s heavy muscle car, and watch out, here comes mama, and I kick the guys' butts in the house. Stick me in an old Ford or an old Chevy, oh yeah, I tear it up. But stick me in one of them new cars, it's like when I used to play that game Night Driver on Atari, and you had that little round joysticky thing. I don't know about you guys, but that was the worst game in the entire planet. Personally, I couldn't get out of the white fence. And there was no reverse. I mean, come on, I hated that game. Unless you wanted to eat wooden fence. Fact number 12. I have an intense fear over chainsaws. Girl, run from them. I will take off running in the opposite direction in a haunted house. I will run past several scenes. If I'm on a haunted hayride, you better hang on to me, because if that guy jumps on the hay wagon, I'm up and over the other end. Bruises, cuts, banged up legs, it don't matter. I'm getting away from that chainsaw man. Funny enough, though, I love scary movies, which is another fact. And with this chainsaw fear, I actually bought both Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Tried watching it once or twice, 2, 3, 4 times. Actually, a bunch. I start it, and then I get like this panic attack and hurry up and have to turn it off, put in something goofy, funny, like Adam Sandler, Robin Williams or something, because I can't do chainsaws. Fact number 13. I don't do railroad crossings neither. I am terrified of them. My dad didn't realize when he was joking when we were kids that a train was coming and he was going to try to beat it over the tracks, that it scared me so bad. And I can drive over the one that's like here by my house, but I live in the middle of the country. You like see a train on that track like 3 times a year. You know, it's no biggie. It's not like where I grew up near Chicago where, yeah, sometimes there was always a train on the track, you know. So yeah, girl doesn't like crossing railroad crossings. Another fear, fact number 14, that my father accidentally gave me is I don't like eating watermelon seeds. I know, alright, that a watermelon is not going to grow in your tummy and make you blow up. But I still get nervous when I feel one slide down my throat. Sorry. I'm silly. But I really am nervous over watermelon seeds. I'm fact number 15. I'm a pack rat. I'm not a bad pack rat. I'm a good pack rat. I don't, I'm not like a hoarder or nothing. My house isn't completely cluttered. There's, But when I see certain things that I know I can turn into an artistic twist, well, I like doing found art or upcycling different garbage objects. So I am a pretty good pack rat. But also my storage building, which is called my pack rat collection, is full of large objects that I've made for parades. Number 16, if you couldn't tell by now, I'm a nerd. I grew up a nerd. I'm a nerd now. I don't care. I am who I am. I like who I am. And if you don't like me, turn off this video or kiss my butt. Number 17, I dress my dogs. And I don't mean in little sweaters in the winter to keep them warm, which I do that. I actually make big, crazy costumes and stick them on my little dogs and enter dog shows and parades with them. My dogs have been kings, knights, Roman soldiers, Vegas showgirls. They got bikinis. They were football players and cheerleaders, and I made a trailer for my one dog to pull a watermelon behind him, and my little mama dog was this basically she was a cotton watermelon, huge with a little head, big tail, little, just her little feet sticking out. You could not even hardly even see all her legs, and she kind of wobbled. Oh, it was so cute and so funny. Yes, Mama, I'm talking about you. Fact number 18. I've never gotten a brain freeze. I swear. I've even tried chugging slushies in front of people to prove to them that I don't get a brain freeze, but I don't know. I feel like my right here in my heart and my chest, like I've swallowed like that nitrogen stuff that killed the one bad Terminator, but I don't get a brain freeze. Fact number 19. I have never done a chin-up or a pull-up ever in my life. I had an injury to my arm when I was a small child. My arm was hurt by a lawnmower, and it made my arm a little weaker. And I remember certain years in gym class, a couple years in a row, I had this psycho gym teacher, and she would scream and yell at me. And I remember every year during like the physical fitness test where we had to run the mile and do weird stuff, climb the rope, I remember hanging from that pull-up and chin-up bar like Farley on Woodcock with her yelling behind me, only she never hit me with a dodgeball. So, yeah, I've never done a chin-up or a pull-up, and I felt total Woodcock moment there. 20. I make all kinds of costumes for me, the dogs, my son, other people. And I can't sew. I can't sew a lick. All my costumes are hot glued. And I have never even used fabric glue. It's always been hot glue. Everyone's like, oh wow, so cool. How'd you make that? Where'd you get that? And it's just glued together. I mean, I don't see how, it's not complicated to me. So, but fact number 21. I owe a sewing machine, a brand new one, still in the box, and I even got a little case thing to stick it in once it's out of the box, and it intimidates me. I make all these costumes, and what's supposed to be the easiest and best looking intimidates me. I guess because I rock my glue gun so well. Fact number 22. I've been stuck in a chair. You heard me. I was stuck in a chair. Thank goodness I had my cell phone in a robe in my pocket of my robe. I had gone outside to let the dogs out to the bathroom, and I was sitting outside with them, and we had old lawn chairs or like metal frames and cloth, and I like literally sunk in such a way my feet were kind of sticking up, and one of my arms was pinned. I only had access to one arm, and luckily I was able to grab my phone and call for help. So I literally was, this was maybe 2 years ago, maybe less, I was stuck in a chair. That was so embarrassing. I can speak Oppish. If anyone knows what Oppish is, comment. I'd love to speak Oppish with you. Hoppy lop lop oh. Fact number 24, I didn't drive a car till I was about 25 years old. It's not that I didn't know how, I was afraid to. It terrified me. I always had a permit, always, from like the time I was 18. I mean, they just always expired. I rarely even used my permits. I was insistent I was gonna be hurt. And yeah, a girl wasn't having it, but I moved from in the center of town out into the middle of the county, like 20 miles from town. And when I had a kid, it was, okay, time to get a car. I'm a Chippewa Indian, also called, well, the Indians call it Ojibwe, but if you look it up, or in the English language, they pronounce it Chippewa. Fact number 26. I am a Tom Petty freak. Went to a concert once when I was 18. Went with a free lawn ticket. And I ended up trying to sneak forward. And I'm shaking and I'm crying. and there's this dude standing in like off to the side of like a main walkway, and there's these big pillars at the World in Chicago, and I'm like standing there trying to sneak around this pillar, you know, peek around it, because from where I was sitting on the lawn, like, Tom Petty was like this big, and I didn't come to see an ant, I came to see Tom Petty. And this guy standing next to me was like, "Are you okay? Because I'm so happy." I'm crying. And I explained to him, you know, this is, you know, first concert I've ever been to. I'm a diehard Tom Petty freak. I came with a free lawn ticket. I'm just trying to cop a better look before I, you know, go back to where I am. And I'm scared because I don't want to get kicked out. And I didn't know the rules of concerts. All I knew is my ticket wasn't for an area I was creeping in. So he tried getting me to hold his beer. And I'm like, you know, I'm 18. I'm not 21. I'm not going to get kicked out. You know, I didn't know the rules. I was scared. I was enjoying seeing Tom, even from a distance. And finally, I held on to his beer, and he dug into his pocket. He pulled out an envelope. And he had an extra ticket. Someone had gotten him a set of tickets for his birthday, and he couldn't find anyone to go with. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Tom Petty? For real. So he asked me if I want this ticket. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Take that ticket. And I'm running off. And I don't know how seats are arranged. I don't know how rows are arranged, the numbers, the alphabet. I had never been before. So I had seen all these guys standing around with flashlights, obviously like ushers. So I'm running up all, where do I go? Where do I go? You know, shaking this ticket in front of them. It was for Dead Center Double G. But I guess because I was shaking my ticket, so the one guy put me at Dead Center Double C. So I literally was 30 rows back by the time the middle of the concert was going on, and I saw Tom Petty, Dead Center. Ugh, it was such a dream come true. Where am I at? Number 27. I can fix just about anything. Maybe not like totally the right way, but I can always pretty much jimmy rig anything until it can get fixed right. I'm really good at that. I don't know why. It's not just duct tape. It's way beyond that. 28. I never had a Big Mac or an Egg McMuffin till I was about 30 years old. Seriously. I think until 5 years ago, I was hidden under a rock. Because who didn't try a Big Mac or an Egg McMuffin? I mean, like, not even try it. Not that I didn't like it. I never had one. Okay. Moment of truth time. Fact number 29. I was on Jerry Springer. Seriously. It was not, my segment wasn't real. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but I was a live-in nanny at the time, and she knew some people who were connected to the show, and they asked me to go on. And honestly, I thought it was fun, and it was. So, hey, girl was on Jerry. I don't like Jerry, by the way, but Steve Wilkos is a real sweetheart. He, in real person, is a really nice guy. Fact number 30. I wore my wedding dress to my honeymoon. The first day, anyway. Which was the Indy 500 in 2010. After the race, I shoved my bottom of my wedding gown right through the pit row fence, and Tony Kanaan, who I believe it was the last year he raced for 7-Eleven, signed the bottom of my wedding dress. I have Tony Kanaan's autograph, and I actually have it authenticated because there was a picture taken by one of the gentlemen with the Indianapolis Star and the museum for the 500, so it's in their public archives. You see part of my face, part of my husband's head, because he's real tall, and all the white fabric through the dress, and great shot of just Tony Kanaan signing it. So the bottom of my wedding dress was autographed by Tony Kanaan, the Indy 500 racer. Fact number 31. The opening week for the Indy 500, a few days before my wedding, the first day, we were there in 2010, and there was a concert, which is a little local thing, only like 3 or 4 songs were sung, but Everclear was there. And Art, I got him to autograph my flip-flops, so obviously I was doomed to spend the rest of the day barefoot. How horrible. Horrible. I mean, you know my poor feet couldn't handle that. Number 32. Okay, I've had a lot of jobs, but one job I had was I was a traveling carny. For half a year, I traveled with not the circus, but with carnivals. I set up roller coasters and rides and tore them down and was a barker. And if you guys don't know what barkers are, they're like the people outside at games at different attractions who have loud voices and hoop and holler and carry on like a spectacle, like draw the people in like, hey, look at me. So yeah, I was a carny. Fact number 33. This is a silly and embarrassing fact that I don't mind sharing. As I said before, I love scary movies. I can watch any scary movie except Chainsaws. Obviously, except Chainsaws. I can even watch Saw. My stepson and my son and my husband, they've been known to turn their faces away, ooh, at certain moments. But I can keep looking. But I have to do it in one certain way. I have an invisible force field of protection. I hide under an Afghan or an old blanket with a hole, and I literally watch, peeking through the hole of the blanket. And I've done it since I was a little kid. I don't know how I think inside my brain that protects me, but when you're watching a scary movie, you can't see what's under the blanket. So I look like this, like Jabba the Hutt blanket creature when I watch really scary movies. Here's another embarrassing fact. I've peed my pants being so scared over roly-polies. Roly-polies. We were moving a bunch of stuff out of a barn that was stored in a barn. And we had picked up one large box and went to load it. And this ginormous snake came out of it. I mean, it was like literally this big around. It must have been like 15 feet long. No, probably not that long. More like 5, 6 feet long. But it was literally like yay big around. And my husband was putting it into my minivan. And it had come out of a box and up and over his arm. And off it went. And that didn't make me pee my pants right then and there. Almost made him pee his pants, or possibly needed to clean his backside. But after that, we pulled everything back out of the van. It was like, uh-oh, we're not riding around with snakes in the car. So we started opening every box. And one of the first boxes I opened, I had this stick, and I'm like poking around, and I flip up this lid, and there was movement. And it was instant, and I literally peed my pants. And when I actually looked, it was a big cluster, like nest of roly-polies. And I laughed so hard, I cried, and it was funny and embarrassing at the same time, and that was heard by all my friends. Everyone had to tell everyone that Michelle peed her pants because of a roly-poly, but I did. Fact number 35. Growing up in the first grade, I was totally confused. I didn't watch hardly any television. I was always drawing or with my nose in a book. And I remember getting on the bus and was lost. Everyone was like, hey man, you look like Wednesday. And I'm like, okay, how do I look like a day of the week? I never said nothing to none of the kids on the bus because so bad I wanted to be like, yo, what's up, Sunday? Hey, Tuesday, how you doing? But everyone's, dude, you look just like Wednesday. And I'm like, okay. And at the same time, I had no clue what a Simpson was. None. So eventually I had seen the Addams Family movie, and I did indeed have a striking resemblance to Christina Ricci when I was a child and she was a child. Everyone looks at my childhood pictures who didn't know me then and just freak that I did. I looked like Wednesday Addams, and I was so lost. I was confused. How do you look like a day of the week? Fact number 36. I don't know why I have like a lot of silly, embarrassing facts I'm sharing with y'all. But number 36 is I can sing head, shoulders, knees, and toes in Japanese. Atamagata ashite, 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 atamagata ashite, me hana mimikuchi. I took a little bit of Japanese for a very short time, and that just, it's fried into my brain. Miss Watanuki made us all individually go up to the front of the class, stand up one at a time, singled out, and actually, you know, I can't forget that. It ain't happening. Fact number 37. My favorite TV shows are either forensic, cooking, or medical. Can't get enough. I love all kinds of movies. Fact 38. I really like old movies. Old movies. Like Francis the Talking Mule. Dude, Francis is the bomb. I love Francis the Talking Mule, especially in the Navy. That is like my all-time favorite. I like Ben-Hur and the Blue and the Gray. I like scary movies. I am a Rob Zombie movie junkie. I watch Christmas movies all year. My favorite Christmas movies are A Christmas Story and Prancer. Totally gotta love some Prancer. Fact number 39. My name is not Michelle. My name is Michelle. I was named after the Beatles. But in 1980, they didn't have the little foo-foo thing over the I on a typewriter, and I was doomed to be called Michelle. I tried to stress that when I was younger, but nerds can't stress anything to anyone who's not a nerd, so they tried to use my real name against me, and basically I just let it drop, and everyone called me Michelle ever since. But technically, I'm named after the Beatles. I'm a Michelle. Fact number 40. I did not ever own a Ken doll. Ken was ugly. He was the ugliest thing I had ever seen. Yuck. But I did go through 2 different Donnie Wahlberg dolls from the New Kids on the Block. That was my Ken. He was just the same size as Ken, matched up to Barbie real good, and way better looking. Yep, I'm a Donnie girl. Totally loved New Kids on the Block when I was a kid. Yes, I did. Fact number 41. I'm ambidextrous. I can write with both hands. Fact number 42. I can also use my feet to pick stuff up when I clean. I don't gotta bend over. I can write small words and stuff with my feet. I can use my toes like fingers. Fact number 43. I like to draw and paint. I'm addicted to art. If I were to call any place on earth heaven, it would probably be the Chicago Art Institute. I could totally just get lost there. Fact number 44. I'm a cardboard queen, y'all. I can build almost anything from cardboard. Having a cardboard base, the sky is the limits. I'm going to put on a tutorial this Halloween on how to actually make outdoor worthy, big, huge monument type tombstones, not the little flat things that say RIP, but actually like the big monument ones. And you out of cardboard, and can make them where they last all Halloween season outdoors. Rain, snow, whole shot. Cardboard. Yes, I said cardboard. So make sure around Halloween you come look for that video. I was a beauty school kick-out. I was kicked out of beauty school. I tried going to beauty school about 5 years ago. I had signed up and was like a really good student. I had only been there a few weeks. The lady who ran the whole school, she wasn't even really a teacher anymore. She was like the overseer of everyone. Even said how much promise I had, and when she was talking and showing examples of like rolling hairs into rollers, she pulled off my mannequin's head, or my little dummy head thing, to show how tight the rolls were, as this is how you do it. So I was actually really proud of that, and then got into a really bad four-wheeler accident and came to school right after I left the ER. I'm all scratched up, black eyes, blood, ripped clothes. My arm was immobilized. Both my wrists were braced. Both my ankles were braced. This knee was braced. I had a neck brace on, black eyes, fat lip. You know, it looked like I'd been through the ringer on an old-fashioned washing machine. And my school excuses said, stay out of school for 2 weeks. And since when you basically leave the hospital and turn, right here's the school. So it was, okay, stop and drop off the papers. And the teachers and everyone took my papers and said, hey, see you in 2 weeks. And I had called several times trying to see if our books were in, because the mannequins and stuff we were using were like left behinds from previous students that our kits were never there. And I had kept calling to see if the kids showed up, because I had wanted to read the books to keep up with my class, not have to start with people I didn't, know as much. And they were never there, never there, never there. And I actually came in, limping in, my arm's still immobilized, half the braces are still on me. Came in while, and right after getting groceries or something right next door. I think I went in the Big Lots to get some seasoning. They were like the best deal on seasoning back in the day. And they told me, you're no longer a student here. You were gone 10 consecutive days. Goodbye. And I'm like, okay, when you took my papers, you could have gave me a forewarning. And on 11 days, my arm's still immobilized. I have one arm and my wrists in a brace. How they actually think I'm gonna, cut hair, I don't know. But anyway, that was my last random fact. I'm sorry if I don't know why I'm apologizing, but I know I probably don't seem the most comfy, but I don't know, kind of saying some of the stuff I did and just alone showing me made me nervous, and it's hot in here. I got the air and the fan turned off because I wanted you guys to hear me well. But this is Make It All Maniac, guys. Hope you like my random facts video. Bye.